Oh, almost 8:30.
Ready, go! Ready, go!
Hello everyone, this is Paulor and this is Wednesday Warzone. And hi everyone, I know I've kept you guys waiting for this week's Wednesday Warzone. And there's a lot actually to discuss, mostly about balance changes. But I think one of the big topics can speak for itself. As you can see, we have some new visual update for the game basically. So yeah, there are some people who've already seen it if they're playing the preview mode of the game. If you're playing the preview version of the game, you'll be able to see this new visual update. But more importantly, this overhaul is accompanied by the physics overhaul, which we were discussing. And in the preview version, the people playing the preview version of the game already have access to this physics overhaul of the game. So this is gonna be the next public update of the game. What you're seeing here, what you guys are seeing here will be in the next public update of the game. We will be including the physics overhaul and the visual overhaul to the next public update. So now that that big news is out of the way, here's a bit of the bad news. Oh no, everyone's saying, oh no, Paulor. Bad news. Okay, the bad news is if you guys are playing on the preview version of the game, you should know that it's pretty bugged. There's a lot of stuff that was impacted by the change of the game, the changes to the physics system of the game, and it's really taking a while right now. It's taking a long while to just fix the bugs, and for that reason we might not be able to do a public update at the end of the week. And I really have to apologize because I did promise like a balance update at the end of this week. So yeah, given the changes for the physics and the graphics, and basically there's a lot. If you want to just know, just go to our thread over at Steam regarding the change logs and you'll see all the changes there. If you're playing the preview version of the game, you'll feel the changes firsthand, and you'll see how certain modes are buggy. But be assured, like one of the issues was that you couldn't play horde mode. So now we fixed that, and we're fixing it every day. The nice thing about the preview version and the preview system we've been doing now is that people give us feedback, and we're able to rapidly deal with them. It's just that there's a lot to deal with, really. So there's a lot of new stuff and a lot of bugs that need fixing, because it's really an overhaul of the system. And actually, the next part of this video, I wanted to talk about the balance changes of the game. But here, I'm playing a version where the horde mode's fixed. We'll be updating the preview version, the preview branch of the game shortly. So you guys playing in the preview branch, you'll be seeing more of this later. So yeah, I was going to talk about the balance changes we had planned for the month, which was supposed to be scheduled this Friday, but we might have to move it to next week. Hopefully next week, because there's a lot to fix with. We haven't even given people the ability to play multiplayer yet. So there's still that to fix. I don't want to have a public version where we have the multiplayer turned off, even though it's even if it's buggy. I want to have a playable multiplayer experience. So for that reason, we've decided to postpone the public update until we have at least a playable multiplayer build. We've been doing our own tests. Even though the preview branch is out, we try to make it on par with our own tests. But if there are certain features that there's no hope of like showing it to the public, like for example our current iteration of multiplayer, we won't we won't open it yet for public testing. So everything you guys are seeing in preview mode, we feel just a bit confident that you guys can help us improve the game. So right now I'm playing horde mode, and so that issue's fixed. And I'd like to thank everyone who was helping us with preview mode, giving us their feedback and everything. And I really have to apologize. It's a lot. This new system, there's a lot of new changes, and we won't be able to release the public build that we promised at the end of the week, which was supposed to be balanced changes. Oh, and because we have an event called Cosmic Clash coming up next week, actually. How will that impact Cosmic Clash? The short answer is we'll be using the old version, the version on the last week of June, which was patched on Monday of last week. That we'll be using that version. That version's still using the old physics and the old netcode, so we'll be using that for Cosmic Clash. That means we might not update the public build until after Cosmic Clash. So that's after July 21. Yeah, and Cosmic Clash, if you guys are new to this, Cosmic Clash is our monthly. We're trying to make it monthly. A monthly contest, live contest. Like people are actually there in Manila at the Cosmic Gorgons game bar and lounge. And several of the presets in the game are actually champion mechs from that competition, and we'll be having one this July 21 over at Cosmic Gorgons. So if you guys feel like you have a build, if you feel like you can beat like the guys like Kiko Pro or Sim, if you guys are listening on Discord, why don't you come over and prove your metal, basically. Test your metal, basically. So that's it for Cosmic Clash. So now I'll get back to what this Wednesday Warzone's about. It's actually about the balances we're planning for the game. And it's hard to talk about the balances without talking about the changes to the physics we've done to the game. So a lot of them go hand in hand. For one thing, the physics of the game is still buggy, so it's hard to describe exactly what we're going for, but the aim was to have a more precise, less slidey movements, hopefully. And it's supposed to help us with our net code mostly. It's mostly there to help us with our net code. And that being said, there are some weapons that are affected, although, like I said, we might not be publicly updating the build this Friday, so some stuff you'll see here might not be the final. First thing is the homing lasers now deal like 20 damage per hit. So they deal a lot of damage now. They deal double what they used to deal. And people were saying that they would prefer that because homing lasers don't actually hit us often once the guy's privy to it. So we decided, okay, we'll double it and see how that works. So if anything comes up, if it becomes like a meta weapon, we'll just balance it. But right now I don't feel anything particularly OP about it, so 20 per laser isn't so bad. Next is the Orthros, as requested. We made it base 2. Right now this mech is equipped with ammo expansion, so he has a third shot. But we feel like, yes, we agree, Orthros can have like two base ammo, and then it's up to the player to like use it whenever they feel it's right. And if they want to fake out, like the guy dodges the first one, then hit with the second one. But we've decided to only have it reload one ammo at a time, as opposed to the shoulder Gatling guns, which reloads everything. Next is the Schaefer. It's received a lot of nerfs, but we've decided to lessen the. First half the damage. This is just the first part, and hopefully that will help. Half the damage still gives you like 1,800 if all the bullets hit. Hopefully that will help the weapon. So we're still eyeing other things like either removing the stab damage completely since it has more ammo than the Wesp, or outright changing how it works. We were thinking it applies a damage over time effect, but that might be in a future, like a future update, not this month's balance update. But yes, after this we're eyeing either reducing the damage further or removing stab damage completely, so it becomes a Wesp. And the biggest, most obvious change for balance is how we change the flanker and the sidewinders. So before, when you use the flanker and sidewinders, you just get iframe on demand, just like that, but you stay in place. Not many people found it useful, and it was really hard to use. So now we've decided to make it essentially a free dodge cancel. So now you can use that and then cancel and then go into another move without using boost. So it'll open up some new avenues of gameplay. So I hope more people use it, and then we'll see if it's really broken, if it becomes a top weapon. Because in my mind, in theory, it sounds really broken to me, but people aren't using it, and there are arguments that you're giving up weapons to have this ability. So now you can cancel without using boost, so it'll really change up your strategy, and you have really fast sidewards movement. So there, we hope these improvements make the flanker and sidewinder more appealing to more people now. And then next, this one, many people, it's actually just 2 people complaining about the E-Tac. So the E-Tac, we've decided to do one thing first, which is we'll shorten the time it stays up. So now it takes 5 seconds. So you're only able to hit about 3 hits, and it's back to normal. Before it was 10 seconds, so you really stayed in that form for a long time. So now it's more. Once I activate this, I'll try to get everything in, kind of weapon. So that's one. Next, what else was changed? I'm trying to remember. Oh, we also decided to
Ready.
change up how
Go.
the charge thruster works. Although it's hard to show off here. Basically, the charge thruster now homes like halfway through its charge, it still will correct. So if a guy's moving sideways, there's a chance. See, I curved upward there. Although that was minuscule, it's hard to show because the enemy is not exactly dodging. But basically, we gave it better homing capabilities. That's the short end of it. The short explanation of what we did. And I think that's it for now. That's all I can show you guys for now. Oh yeah, we decided to power up the beam sabers side attacks.
Ready. Go.
Because many people were complaining that it was too weak or didn't have a really good niche. But I like to remind everyone that this is a 500 weight weapon, so I think 300 is the upper limit. I think that might be already too good for its weight class. But yeah, that's one of the other changes we did. Now there are people talking about strength and how it affects the game. I actually listened to that discussion, and we won't be able to do anything regarding strength in this iteration of the game. But we do have plans in the future to reduce reliance on. Many people were saying make load separate from strength, which for me, in my mind, the load was primarily what strength affected. The MDM was more like it wasn't supposed to be its primary stat. It was supposed to be like a helper stat. That's why in the original version of the game, like in the very earliest demo, MDM almost solely relied on load because load was supposed to be strengths only contribution to the stats, basically. What we do intend to do in the future, though, given that we do want to change up the system, and one of the things we're eyeing is that the stats, the base armor, base speed, base strength stats, they won't necessarily how do I explain it? They won't necessarily reflect point per point, because right now what you get in armor, like if your armor is like 5,525, your armor without any additional internals would be about 5,525. Your base speed affects your mobility the same way, and what strength does is it affects load the same way. In theory, in our heads, it's fair because speed also affects stuff like on top of movement speed. Speed also affects the amount of boost you have. Armor affects the amount of stability you have. But strength affects load, and load affects other stats. And I understand many people see it, and in practice, many people feel like there's a lot more advantage to having load-based stats. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to like move away from just having base armor like become armor. Like what we want to do is like if the higher base armor, your armor can go really high, or the higher your base speed, your speed can go really high, or your boost capacity can go high, or the higher your strength goes high. But if you're somewhere in the middle, you guys are like you'll get like really minimal bonuses, and it'll go the same for the other stats that go below average. You'll really suffer for lacking those stats. That's one of the things we considered, but at first we wanted to avoid that because we knew speed disparity was a thing, and I don't know if people feel speed disparity just yet because they play in arenas most of the time, which was made because of speed disparity. But there's a certain point in which a speed build can just simply outrun every other build if they have high enough speed. And we were just trying to avoid that because one of the Cosmic Clash games essentially boiled down to a person being able to do that consistently, and it was because of the arena being too large. So there's that. That's one of the ideas we have for strength, but right now we won't be moving strength for this balance update. We'll keep it as is. In my mind, I also think we don't have enough data. There are builds that are full speed that are hard to beat, like dual Liberator on Falcon. If just has to maintain his distance, and they're able to deal enough damage because they don't need strength anyway to deal damage, and they don't fully equip, so they're not overloaded. So enough about strength. One of the changes we did was we also increased Pad's weight to 750, and we changed the deflector coating and shock absorption plating to deflect. It's not accurate here, but deflector coating is supposed to apply deflection to ranged weapons, and shock absorption plating is supposed to apply deflection to melee weapons. So that's one of the another of the balance changes we did for the game. So that's it. I think I've been talking for straight. I hope people get what are following me. So anyway, I think I'll answer questions now. So we've reached that point, and I don't have the assist as the people assisting me are making commentary as usual, so might take a while before I can see questions I'm looking for. Okay, so Halberd, am I right? Just let me read. It's like the Falcon Owl, don't sweat it. Oh yeah. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. It's really hard because we're a small indie company, and whenever a big change comes up, we're not able to keep up with our old schedule of like 1 week, one update. So we're really sorry about this. Thank you for understanding. Thanks, dudes. Any chance of selecting camera angles like center, off center, left, and off center, right? Right now we have in the options screen, let me show that, let me pull that up real quick. In the options screen, we actually have something called the alternate camera offset. And right now it's set to, if it's disabled, it's set to be right above you. If it's enabled, it's set to be somewhere on your, somewhere over the shoulder of the mech to one side. I'm going to try and show that. So this is on the alternate offset. Alternate offset. Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying. If you're on the preview mode, you're actually seeing a lot of these changes. So on the alternate offset, as you notice, I'm like slightly to the side of my mech, and this was our original camera made because we wanted to like emphasize melee. So doing this, you're able to judge better. If you're in at close range, you're able to judge better what you're doing vis-a-vis what the enemy's doing. So that's the alternate offset. We can make a different version, like rather than just one side, you can go off center and off center left, off center right. We'll see in the future. That's a cool suggestion. We'll see about that. Okay, so next, doesn't do damage, not broken. I don't need to play the game. Miss mech. What about new parts? Oh yeah. We're not able to show it yet, but yes, I think there was a leak in Discord. The new parts are going to be a thruster and shoulder-mounted homing lasers. They're going to be called the Illusion Thrusters, and they're made by a new company called Bleeding Edge, which we haven't shown before. And the shoulder homing lasers are going to be called Sauparna homing lasers, made by the same company, Astra Solutions. So that's gonna be our new parts for the end of the month. Not able to show it here yet, but we are testing it internally. Maybe preview. We might release it a week early in preview. Okay, so next question is, how are you guys doing? Everyone doing well? Oh wow, thank you for asking. We're doing well. There's a lot of stuff really. I'm just worried. But I'm glad you guys are understanding. There's a lot of stuff we gotta fix. This new physics, the new net code, there's really a lot of changes we have to make sure are smooth and match what our old version had. So I'm focusing right now on making all the game modes. We are focusing right now. Sorry, I mean not me. As you all know, we're a small team. We're a small company. We're just focusing on making the game functional for now, and I will release it on preview, then work from there and see if people find bugs and help us out. And so far, you guys have been very helpful. I think we wouldn't have found a lot of these bugs without you guys. So, any other questions? Yoshikawa spilled thoughts about potential Bluetwriter changes. Any reactions on that? Actually, it's something we discuss internally. Like I said, whenever we say something on Discord, it's usually because we've discussed internally and can't make our minds about it. But there are people who, if the reaction is favorable, we tend to go with it. But the change for the Bluetwriter is not something we can do in 1 month. It's kind of like the Schaefer getting a status effect kind of ability. It's that kind of change system wise. So that's that. If you guys are interested in it, yeah, tell us and we will consider changing stuff like that for the game. So I hope you guys are liking what you're seeing. I'm like, the game looks really edgy. Okay, where are you guys from? Where are your country? Oh, we're from a third world country called the Philippines. So it's actually the fact that we made a game that's this successful is actually surprising even to me. And it's successful because fans like you exist, and I'm really touched just hearing you guys tell us, oh, don't sweat it, don't worry about it. I can and will spam halberd until Paulor acknowledges it. Okay. Although the halberd's cool, I like pole arms. We do have a plan for two-handed weapons, like weapons that will take both your hands, and a halberd would look like a good fit for that. But the thing with the two-handed weapons is it's something that's really down the pipeline given what we have to work with right now. So, cool idea. We have a lot of weapons coming up. One of them, if we clear this, if the game gets really big, we'll put in all the weapons you want. Just like if this game is big, tell us, oh, you want some halberd, maybe a halberd that acts like the wave axe. Oh, sure, if it's a reskin. We can make a halberd version of the wave axe. Okay, so that's that. Oh, you're from Brazil. Oh yeah. Hi, thanks. We got a lot of fans all over the world. I really, a lot of players all over the world, a lot of supporters, and we're really thankful for that. So, Bloot buff, yes. There is a Bloot buff. I think we did damage slightly. I'm not able to show it here because I'm not sure of the old values right now. I don't have it off the top of my head. So yeah, I think we buffed Bloot. So, any other questions? Rip ETAC. Well, I don't know. The two people I'm pertaining to still think ETAC's busted even without it. Even without that, even without the nerf. Yeah, even with the nerf, I'm sorry. Even with that nerf to the powered up form, they still think it's busted. Okay, intensity glow. You mean for the post-processing? Ah no, it's right now we all put it in one option called post processing, but we'll see if we can add intensity glow for that. Anyway, so is that all? Are there any more questions before I close? Basically, I close this episode. Okay, I'll just stay here and read. So I'm really thankful to everyone. Thank you for understanding the delay. I know I promised the date this Friday, but given our preview and given how much people have played preview, and I'm really thankful people played preview, they found stuff that we wouldn't have found on our own because we're like really busy. And given that, there's a lot of stuff we need to fix. So multiplayer isn't, we haven't even how do I explain this? The progress we had on multiplayer was delayed as well, and we wanted to release this with the new netcode and everything. So we haven't even gotten good progress on that because we're fixing bugs right now. But we want you guys to have that netcode. I know everyone's waiting on it. They just want to play online. We're gonna have that next week. I can't promise. I'm sorry. We're gonna try and have it next week. We're gonna probably put multiplayer in the preview branch. We're gonna at least do that. We'll try that to get that out next week, and we'll try also to get the public version out next week. But I can't make any assurances right now. We're still fixing bugs. There's some stuff actually that happened earlier that I have to note down for us to fix. But thank you for understanding. Thank you for supporting us. And yeah, Garrison Archangel is really it's a fruit of everyone who played the game, and of course us, but it's really you guys. So I'm really thankful. We're really thankful. So okay, while I went on that monologue kind of thing, by the way, how does it feel to make an early access game that is better than you? Hey, I don't wanna. Luckily I'm not any of the other guys. I am. How do I feel about this? Well, that's great. Of course, every sale we make is great, and if you guys feel that way, I feel good. I'm flattered. No people because new schedule, Nico. Seriously, 10 times better. Oh, thank you very much. We'll try to make it the best. We want to make it the definitive PC-based, customizable mecha fighting action game, the most anime action game out there, and we're doing this really just to achieve that. So yeah, I think there's no more questions. Art contests when? I'll announce it. Just hold your horses. Jeez, guys. Next month. I did say it would be next month, but I don't have a specific date at this time. Just hold your horses. We'll get there. And Maple says not much questions because he's able to see what we're messing with. Yeah, I think the preview build helps in that regard. At least we're transparent about what we're working with. And we're really thankful. You guys are really helping us out despite it being really buggy. I was really worried, but people really came through, and it's really helping us balance wise, bug fixing wise, and we're really, like I said, we really appreciate it. So yeah. Okay, so yep, I think that's enough for now. Thanks everyone. This has been Garrison Archangels Wednesday Warzone. This was Paolo, and on behalf of the entire team, thank you everyone, and Sara, bye bye. You.